In this video, we'll be looking at the JavaScript syntax. So syntax is basically the set of rules on how we declare and use JavaScript in a browser. So there's a few things I want to look at today. First is we can have values which we can modify, and these either come as what we call fixed values, which is what we call literals, or variables. Now, a JavaScript literal basically is whatever we set never changes. So I could say, for example, someone's name, first name, is Peter, and that'll always come up as Peter. Or someone's age is 40. Okay, and the way we do literals is numbers are always declared with no quotes around them. So you can see they're just here like so. And if you do anything that's a string, which is a letter or number combined, then we have double or single quotes. It's a personal preference there. Variables, if we need to change a value, whether it is an integer or a string, we would then assign a name to it. So the way to declare a variable inside JavaScript is you write down var, which stands for variable, you give it a name, and then here we're setting a literal for variable to 6. So if we run this, you can see in the code here, we're doing an inline example here. So it's in the script tags. And then what we're going to do is we can change this value, run it again, and you can see that the value has changed here. We can also have operators, which allow us to do mathematical operations, or arithmetic operators, we call them. The only thing you need to know is that for multiplication, we use an asterisk, and for division, we use a front sort of forward slash. So if we look at this, how it works, the example here, we can actually change this. So if I was to change this to, say, multiply, and then this to divide, you can see if I run it, that I now have the value of 3. So pretty standard practice for arithmetic operators in any program language to have these symbols here. As we said, we can also have variables. So variables where we declare a name and then we assign a value to it. So here we've got 2 variables, x and y, and what we're doing is we're actually modifying those values in there. I personally don't like using variable names that are non-descriptive, such as x and y. I always think you're better off using something with more description, such as like number 1 or first name, last name, just easier for maintenance of the code. And then finally, you can also do comments inside JavaScript. Basically forward slash, or if you want to do a block of comments, use this. So a block is more than one line. And what happens is basically the browser will ignore anything using those 2 forms of comments. So I suggest very strongly that you do comment your code, as it's good practice for maintenance and also just general good program practices.